Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Good morning to you, and I wish you a happy Friday. It is a little cloudy here today. We've had some rain. We've had a lot of allergens blowing through the air, and we're all sniffling around our house. But we are happy to have spring here at last. And gone is the freezing weather in the April month. So, or actually May now. I wanted to show you today the tassels that I've recently made and that I love making. One of my favorite crafts to do is to make tassels. I like doing these. They're a fun decoration for a book bag, a purse, a backpack, attaching to a junk journal or a diary or any kind of book where you have a place where you can fasten it. This is my most recent one. Anyway, I like making these, I guess I was going to say, because they're something you can get done quickly, and you can use a variety of ribbons, strings, yarn, fabric pieces, and the charms that you can attach are always fun. It's a great way to use beads that you might have in your craft stash. This one has the charm on it. It says World. I just like that. I thought of blue, and I think of the blue planet, you know, the idea of planet Earth. Anyway, I used a lot of lace in this one. It's a little shorter, as you can see. It's a pretty full tassel, and I really like how those look on the back of a thicker junk journal. So I made this one like that, but it could go on anything. I like to use these bulb pins and put a couple of seed beads. This little bead right here is from a necklace that I just had that I never wore, and I just took it apart and I used that. One thing I enjoy doing with tassels that I make is to use fabric strips. This is bias tape or seam binding, and lace. But I like to give it some bulk with some fabric. And excuse me, like I said, these allergies are getting to my throat. Here's the rest of that charm I was hiding before. And lots of beads to the bottom. Small beads and chunkier beads. All in kind of turquoisey, teal, more of a rich kind of blue or green. And then the fabrics that I selected pick up on those colors as well. These are ones I just had in my stash from other craft projects, and so I use those. You can see the little twine in there. This is something too that I've enjoyed using in the tassels. It's a finer twine. I bought this at Joann's. You can also buy it at Walmart in their craft section, and it is a few dollars cheaper, so I would suggest the Walmart one, of course. It's tighter, it's less rough than some twines, and it allows you to attach maybe something as small as this little tiny jingle bell. And also, if you get the narrower strands, you can attach the seed beads. So I like that. I like having the hidden element where if you look at it, you know, oh, that's cool, but as you just kind of take a closer look, you find fun little treasures in there, the little charms. If you got a lot of charms and beads too, it's a great way to incorporate those and use up some of that stuff that you might not have had a use for, and you don't maybe want it sitting around the rest of your life. You want to use the things you have. So if you're like me, you don't want to keep accumulating without using. So that's one way of adding a lot of character to a little tassel and just giving it a lot of personality. So there's that one. This is one I made several months ago. It has maybe more of a vintagey or antique-y feel to it. It's got this really wide lace as well as the thinner fabric strips, grosgrain ribbon, a finer mesh type ribbon. That one was from, from Dollar Tree. And then I used some muslin strips and this, oh, it's hard to show. This is also from Dollar Tree. It's kind of neat. It has sequins in it. does kind of come apart, so I need to tie that one off. But I liked that, and I loved this little charm. I think it's like a little bee. I thought it was a dragonfly, but the body is more of a bee body. This one is a little thinner, not as much bulk, so that may appeal to others if they don't like the chunkier ones. And then I had this tassel I got on clearance, some craft store, and I attached that in there. And this is really fun, this little leafy, a ribbon or a trim. And then some rickrack. If you have lots of rickrack from other projects, I make Christmas stockings for my family, and every time one of the kids get married or they have a baby, I make them a Christmas stocking. So I've had some leftover rickrack, and I've used that in some of my tassels. And then this kind of rougher looking thread. So anyway, anything is fine. That's just what I've used. I like this blue and gold together, the vintage look. That'd be great on a junk journal or a purse, or, you know, really anything that you just want to add a fun little personal touch to. Anything you want to add a little character to. I think the tassels are great for that. I love making them, and I love how they look. And then this one says play. I'm hoping that you can see the detail there. A bulb pin with some more seed beads in various shades of blue. Then I attached the added charm. It's got that little hand, a jingle bell, a couple crystal beads that I took a little jump ring and attached to this additional charm. So this can come off and attach to something else that you want to embellish, or it can just stay on there, and it gives it some more dimension, more texture, more to look at. This is more glossy and glittery, and I don't know, to me those silvery blues and stuff have a kind of a magical look maybe. This is kind of a shimmery ribbon, so it's maybe for the person who likes a little more glitz, a little more sparkle, and or, I know, like princessy, or they kind of give a snowy effect even. I think that might be nice on a wintry based journal, or just anybody that likes royal blues and bright blues and soft blues all together. So those are, I don't have my shop opened yet. You can message me if you're interested. You can contact me at Instagram, Bookish Things by Gail, or just leave a message below and I'll get back with you. If you're interested, I was asking $8, and that would include shipping for any of these. And then I want to just thank Breezy Blessings, Allison. She's a new YouTuber that I've recently discovered. She showed how to make these faux leather covers, and I loved that. That looked like a lot of fun. This is a craft paper, and through a process of using water and glycerin, you can make this craft paper pliable and bendy like a sheet of leather. I followed her directions. I would go to her YouTube and follow her directions. They are very specific, easy to follow. She gives you a great run through on how to make faux leather covers. So I experimented with that. The one thing I did slightly different is I used my Tim Holtz inks. I used the Vintage Photo, I think it's called, in black, and then I added a little bit of orange just to add a little more dimension when I was coloring the dried treated craft paper. She uses shoe polish, and that is an awesome idea. It's probably more expensive, not expensive, more inexpensive to use shoe polish, especially if you already have it on hand. You can see there's a little bit of glimmer there. Anyway, go to her channel for the directions, and I totally credit her for this idea. It's not something I came up with. I just wanted to show you my finished version of it, and to show her and to thank her for the great idea. I used that fine twine I was telling you about previously to tie in my single signature into this book. I tied it in the center. This is probably, oh, it looks like I have 7 or 8 pages here. Of course, you fold those, gives you 16, and then you count both sides. You have about 32 pages. This to me could be fun to embellish with some buttons or sewing on something, maybe poking a hole here and adding a little tiny charm. Other than that, this is very basic. It's got coffee dyed papers in it. This one turned out really fun, I thought. I put the coffee mug on there while it was drying and left the rings, and I like how it dried and made that distinct. Sorry I had a momentary technical difficulty that my 12-year-old needed to come and help me with. I'm glad he's around. I have all sorts of helpers here from my 6 kids who are still at home. I always call on them for help. Anyway, I wanted just to say that this book is filled with coffee dyed paper, and I love how it turned out. It's really fun. I love that it's bendy, and I'm not sure what to do with it. If you have an idea, please, whoops, let me get that in frame, post it below. I was thinking it might be a fun commonplace book. I have recently learned about commonplace books. I was watching The Scrappy Apple Yard with Jonna Lee, and she was mentioning commonplace books, and I asked her about that. And it's basically a book to record knowledge that you gain through life, of anything that's of interest to you or promotes your understanding or wisdom in a certain area. So I thought, hey, this would be a great commonplace book just to write down, I guess it seems to me, almost tidbits of information that strike your fancy or are intriguing to you. But I would be curious to hear anybody else's idea for a plain book like this. It could even be a book that a man might be more drawn to because it's a little more rugged, a little more simple looking, or even a girl or woman or boy, but somebody who likes a simpler look to things and doesn't like all the fancy ornamentation and embellishment. But anyway, that is all. Have a fantastic Friday. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for all my new subscribers. I'm enjoying making these movies, and I so much enjoy the junk journaling, traveler's notebook, artistic community who just is gracious and sharing and encouraging. So you all have a great day. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.